Hey guys, what is up? It is SkullFlag44 here, doing another video talking about my trip to Hawaii and other stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about my trip to Hawaii, and I also have some other stuff because it's been a couple days since I got back, and I've been doing some other things, and I can talk about what else is going on. I do pretty much my same end of summer or start of summer thing, end of school thing, where I talk about that stuff, but talk about other stuff as well. So yeah, so let's see. I'm kind of adjust and get comfortable as I break into my Hawaii trip. So yeah, so I'm trying to get situated. Okay, so what you're seeing right now is the floors of the Seattle Tacoma Airport, or SeaTac as we like to call it. So I've had an Instagram account for a little bit. Before I just took pictures of my dog, and then I decided, hey, I should use it or whatever. I don't know. I guess I just decided to use it because there's a lot of cool things in Hawaii to take pictures of, as you will see later on. So this is just cool. I recognize, I don't know, this is pretty, if you've been to SeaTac, I think you might recognize this, or probably not if you've been to SeaTac, but if you primarily use that as your airport. I think it's kind of cool, and this is just my first. I was kind of bored waiting for everyone to finish up, I think, like checking the bags in or whatever, and then so I just decided to take this. Grammed it up, added little filters and I guess maybe a border or something. Turn the contrast up or all that, mess around with all that stuff, good stuff. So yeah, so that's what you're saying. You'll see other pictures along. I don't know, I might change it up depending on how long the commentary is to put the best pictures in there, but we'll just kind of figure it out as we go. So let's see, it was Saturday, two Saturdays ago from this point. I'm recording this on Saturday. During the summer, my days get all mixed up. Like, I keep thinking tomorrow's Monday and not Sunday. And it's like Saturday and Sunday are like, I don't know, not as good as the weekdays usually. The summer, not that they're not as good, like, not much of a difference. But it's like, I don't know, like, Saturday, Sunday, everyone has off. But then during summer, when you have the weekdays off, it feels like some sort of special or something like that. So 2 Saturdays ago, I'd been out of school for a couple days. And so we left for Hawaii. We left around 12. Our flight was like at 3:30. So we get down there, pick up my grandma, get down there, get all settled in. My grandma had her knee replaced a little while ago, and so she can walk, but she can't walk like super long places. And our like terminal we had to take like a tram over there within the airport or whatever. So she got a wheelchair, which was great because we could just speed right through security. We got to go through the wheelchair lane, which is fantastic. Absolutely, wonderful to be able to do that. Kind of, I don't know, like as long as I guess you're with a wheelchair person, it's all right. But sometimes it was kind of like, we do really need to be doing this? But we had to stay as one group, and if they offer that to you, you'll take it. But it's not like when we did it it really wasn't much of a difference any of the times because the security lines were pretty short. So we get out there, hop on the plane at like 3:30, and we're taking a plane to San Diego first, and then a plane to San Diego to Kahului, Maui, Hawaii. And the reason we're doing that is we had miles to use up or something like that on this one airline. So this was like the only the way we could get the ticket free here, or something like that. So it was kind of a pain, but if it's free, might as well do it. So the flight to San Diego was all right. Nothing too bad. I saved up a long painkiller already episode for the flight to Hawaii, which unfortunately the flight to San Diego, like, it's not like we gained any ground. It's not like the flight to San Diego was any faster. It would have been the same for flying out from Seattle, which is kind of annoying, but that's all right. So then we have to stay in the San Diego airport for a bit, and they just have a small area to go in. It's not as big as Seattle, or at least that terminal wasn't. Or in order to get out, you had to, there wasn't many options before having to pass through security again or whatever. And so we wait there for a bit. I did some stretching along the way because I figured might as well get my body loose. I wasn't really preparing for anything, or I guess I was preparing for the long flight, but it wasn't completely necessary or anything. But did all that. Now you're seeing a picture of San Diego. This is taken out the San Diego area in the airport. Just popped a picture of that. So then we hop on the plane to Maui, and we were like sitting right, not in first class, but like the next ones. Like it was still regular seating and everything, but it was closest to first class. So you have like that more legroom, no chair in front of you, just like a wall sort of thing. So that was pretty cool. As in it was a little more comfortable. And that flight got pretty long. I got like a weird, like my sinuses were kind of like acting up, like with like the altitude. I don't know what was happening, but it was just kind of annoying. Got a little headache, but then was able to get through that. Listen to my podcast. I saved like an hour. I still had like an hour left when we landed. It's like 10 or I think like 11 by the time we're leaving, like going to get our rental car and everything. And so it's 11 there. It's like 2 o'clock Pacific time. And so we get a rental car at like 11 or so. And then we drive and we have to get something to eat because everyone's kind of hungry. So we get something to eat, get some stuff for breakfast stuff. And for some reason, the Safeway that we usually go to is open 24/7, I guess. It was kind of weird, just kind of weird walking around there because everyone's kind of dazed, the jet lag, whatever. And then we get to our place, walk in, and it was like, oh, this is awesome, super nice, great. You guys might have seen the shower that I posted on Instagram with this awesome shower that had like a crazy like rain drip and everything. Like it was fantastic. Like using my shower now is just like disappointing after using that one for 10 days or whatever. So then we get there, it's around like 1 o'clock by the time I go to sleep because we're still checking everything out. And it's like once you get past a certain point, at least for me, I think it's like regular time, if I am staying up later than like 2 a.m., I think it's like, as in I need to be sleeping at before 2 a.m. or I'll just it'll feel weird. And so like I'll just kind of get past that point, and it's not like I'm really tired necessarily. Like I can push back past that, but then it's like it hurts you later on. And so able to get to sleep, wake up in relatively good shape. Then we go down and we check everything out. And I'm not going to get into detail of day by day because I don't particularly remember. I can kind of tell you the first day, but some of the different stuff, because everything kind of blends together, especially when you're there for a longer time. But a lot of different experiences and a lot of just enjoying the beach and stuff. So I'll kind of get into that. So the first day we kind of go check out the ocean, hop in the ocean. The ocean's crazy warm. Apparently it's like 82 in the summer. That seemed a little extreme, but it was like really warm, like 70s easily, like upper 70s. It was fantastic. It was like, holy cow, if I had this at like, it was shocking me. I was like, wow, the ocean is this warm. That's pretty crazy. And it was because we were in like, we started to stay on the Kaanapali area, in the Kaanapali Ali'i, and it's like, I don't know, you can walk out there for pretty far and it's pretty shallow, but it's got some depth to it I don't know, it's like, it's not like we were going into like open water, and it was super warm, but I'm sure it was still, we swam out and it was still pretty solid. So that was great. So that first day we just kind of messed around with that, laid on the beach, checked out the pool, checking everything out pretty much. And then we went and had dinner, which was fun. Check out all the shops nearby, which is a good time. It's pretty much the same. Like we've gone this place like a ton of times. But like there's this one store called the Gecko store, which is like this, I don't know, it's like more I was into when I was younger, something like a pretty kind of like iconic, oh, well, we gotta check out the Gecko store. It's like has all these strange stuff. I don't know, you don't really buy anything there necessarily, but you just always fun to look around at. And that was removed and closed or whatever and turned into like some weird beauty shop, and it was like, what the heck? Like I guess it seemed like the Gecko store was way bigger than this like beauty shop, but apparently I guess people weren't buying enough stuff from there and they had to close down. So that was kind of interesting to see, and a couple other shops like that, but pretty much everything the same. And then there's like the ABC store, which is like the general store in Hawaii area, all over Hawaii as far as I know, and that has a bunch of cool stuff as far as just, I don't know, it's not really a bunch of cool stuff, it just has, it's like the general cheap store, and not usually not crazy expensive like the rest of the stuff in Hawaii. Here you're getting a nice view of the our view from our place or whatever. So you can see I did a nice panorama. To the left is the building. So this is the type of building we're in. Out there you can see the ocean, and then there's a pool there and a pool. You can see one pool, and then farther towards the ocean there's one more pool, but it's pretty much in the same area. And so just super nice, awesome. Was great sitting out there. So we checked all that stuff out. Let's see some of the stuff we did. I did a lot of reading. Finished 3 books on the trip, which was pretty cool. I read Divergent, which I'm not going to get into like a review, because I feel like pretty much books can be interpreted differently for everyone. People might think one's better than the other, or one's not good or whatever. Like that's pretty much the same as like movies and TV shows. But I read Divergent, which was solid. Catching Fire, the second Hunger Games book, and then Mockingjay, the third Hunger Games book. They're all pretty solid, all around the same like dystopia theme sort of thing. I don't know. It's not really that I'm like attracted to that, but that kind of just spawns good ideas and stories. I probably like Divergent the best out of them, just because it was more fresh. Like I guess I like Hunger Games has just been so overdone. It was solid, but it wasn't like people act like it's like the best book ever or something. And I mean, it's good, but it's not great. Like I would, Suzanne Collins wrote Gregor the Overlander, and I thought that was better from when I read it. But I don't know, probably just because it's become so mainstream, and I'm a little bit of a hipster, I guess, or something. I don't know why I don't like it, but don't like it as much. But I don't know. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. I guess. Excuse me. I just heard. Excuse my computer, which just made a noise for. Oh. Okay. Am I still recording? All right. My computer just kind of spazzed out. I got an email, and then I tried to close that or whatever, and then that caused more problem. Anyway, so whatever I was talking about before. Oh yeah. So I don't know. They were all pretty good. All pretty quick reads. They were large books, but they went through pretty quickly, and it's pretty easy to read through books on the beach or pool area, because you can just, I don't know, like what I would do is I would go in the water, get nice and cooled off, swim around, have a good time there, and then come back and just sit in the sun for a bit. And while I'm just sitting in the sun, soaking up the sun, getting warm back up, getting ready to go in the water again, I would just pull out my book. And then when I got hot again, I would just hop in the, ocean or lake or pool. Mostly it was the pool when I was reading, and then the ocean I could stay in there for longer and just mess around with, like riding the waves, which is fun, boogie boarding, stuff like that. And then my dad and I tossed the frisbee around a lot, which is fun, just on like the grass that you're seeing now and in the ocean, which was a good time, because you could do a lot of cool throws. Like I had a couple where I would ride the wave in, my dad would throw it to me, and I would try to catch it as I'm riding the wave, which is pretty sweet. And just like body surfing really close to the shore. I don't know. People always, I see people every time we go here, they try to like body surf like a boogie board, like way out in the ocean. What do you want to do with when you're body surfing? When you actually want to catch something, you want to get pretty close to the curl of the wave. Like I would get right in there. Like there wasn't really too many waves that could really, thrash me around too good and intimidate me. Just because I've gotten bigger, got more used to stuff. There were a couple waves where it was like, all right, if they break over and they just get huge, I won't necessarily like, I don't know, you can always just go under. Like I'll just dive through them, have a good time there. Or I've realized I can kind of put my hands up and create like some sort of like balloon, like parachute thing. And then I just use my hands to get pulled in, which is always fun. Like feel like tons of jets are hitting you. But if you like catch it wrong, you just get totally tumbled over, which I don't really have a problem with, except it'll like get in my ears or something like that. And that just becomes a pain and annoying. So it's like has repercussions, unfortunately. But the raw, like, pain or, whatever it is, really isn't too bad. So did that a lot. I tried surfing. I went into the trip wanting to try surfing, and I did. My dad was out there helping me get positioned, just because there was like 2 boards rented that we all shared, I guess, or something like that. We had access to like a board that my cousins were using or something like that, and we went out there. The first one, my dad's like, all right, here, go do this one or whatever. And so I was like, oh, okay. It kind of caught me off guard. And then I tried to get it, but I was like I didn't get enough speed or anything. And like the second one, I got it, but I wasn't sure if it was hard to tell if I was actually going because I'd never experienced it before. And so then I kind of look over and it was kind of like just did more kind of a hesitation thing, stood up, and then it just kind of shook under me, and because I didn't catch it enough, I was just like, I don't think I was really even doing much at all, and then fell off. And then the third time, I caught it, I felt myself catch it. I just hopped up on it, and rode it all the way into the shore, and then I was like, all right, sweet, that was pretty fun. It was kind of, I mean, it's a lot of work, paddling out there. It's like, I don't know, I get why. Then again, I caught another one. And then just hopped off because I got close to someone. And I didn't really want to mess around with controlling it and hurting someone. Didn't want to have to deal with that because there were a lot of people out there. And I probably would have went more if there were less people out there. But it was like, I don't know. It was fun, but it wasn't great. Like I mean, for the amount of effort and amount of like stuff I would have to deal with, just for me on my basic level of just riding it and kind of letting the surfboard go and standing on it. I'm sure I could probably turn it a bit, but more of a tilt rather than like carving, the wave or something like that. It just didn't seem necessary, and I decided that it would be better use of my time just to plan the waves after that. But I'm glad I did it and can now say I have done it. That's always good. But it was kind of, I mean, it was fun, but it was like, all right, if in order for me to really get into this, I'd have to have constant access to, proper surfing ocean or whatever, so I could actually get to a point where I could just carve the wave or actually ride it really effectively. It just seemed like, I don't know, because it was good, but it wasn't great at the standard level I was doing it on. But I can definitely see why it's awesome for people that actually do it or have gotten really good at it. And it wasn't really difficult either. Like people were like general tips, like my dad was telling me a lot with it, but if you're my age, like 16, like you don't really need a lesson or anything, I don't think. So it was pretty basic, I guess, to get better or whatever, but you could pretty much pick up if like you really wanted to know something, you could hear it off of one of the instructors out there. Like it wasn't too bad, but that was a good time trying that out. Definitely fun riding it back in. Just I don't know, a lot of work for a game that I didn't deem worthy of my Hawaii trip or whatever, as I tend to say. So here you're seeing a picture of the sunset on our first night, our first like real night, first full day night, which is pretty cool. I think it's better. It doesn't look as good right on iMovie because it's weird and I didn't want to like stretch it or like zoom in on it or anything like that. So I just kept it out so you see the black bars. But it was a pretty sweet picture, I think. I posted on Instagram, and I was quite proud because you can like create good pictures like crazy on Instagram. Like just press all the filters, find the one that looks good, and it's like I think they all look great. I'm really happy with them turned out, but I don't think I'm like some sort of photographer or something like that. I just think I'll take a picture that looks cool. I was thinking about like the rule of thirds stuff, but then I was like, man, like a lot of it was, I get that can work, but it is like, okay, I'm just gonna, who cares? I'm taking a quick pick, and see how it goes, sort of thing. So yeah, let's see some of the other stuff that happened. We went snorkeling / I didn't really, my snorkeling, I just had to take goggles, and I tried using the flippers when I was trying to take a boogie board out there and see if I could catch waves like that, but they just seemed really weird on me. Like I could not get used to them. I only tried them on for a bit, but it just seemed like uncomfortable because I was still trying to stay like relatively close, but just a little farther out so I could still stand, standing was really weird because they would like bend underneath you and end up like stepping on your own like flipper thing or whatever. So I was like, all right, that doesn't, like, I don't need to deal with that. And then like the actual snorkeling mask, I just used regular goggles or whatever, even though we had a snorkeling mask, but said someone else could use that because we had 2 snorkeling sets for like 6 people or something like that. So I just took the goggles, had a boogie board, swam out there. And on the way back, we kind of shared the boogie board, and I'm a fine swimmer. Like I wouldn't say like I can swim super well, but I just feel like I can manage pretty well, and I can tread water for a solid amount of time, like as long as I mean, not forever, but as long as I haven't had a point where I was in trouble with that or whatever. But so we went out there, saw a lot of cool fish. My cousin had he had his GoPro out there taking some cool shots of stuff. And then he had some bread that he dropped in there. And so you'd watch he dropped the bread. I didn't really want to get close because too close to where he was dropping the bread because I didn't want to have any fish like running into me because that just was kind of weird. But I had no problem like watching it all happen, which is pretty cool. Just seeing like this huge swarm of fish come over for it. Saw a lot of cool fish out there. We swam all the way over. We snorkeled at this place called Black Rock, which is pretty, I think, pretty recognizable in the Kaanapali area. I don't know how recognizable it is throughout Hawaii or Maui, but around the Kaanapali area, it's really easy to see, and you can see it from everywhere. It's like this big black rock sort of thing. So we swam around there, and then the tide was like deceptive. Like it felt like the waves were going the other way, but we just kind of like slowly like swam and got like pushed farther out, not like farther out, but just kind of around this bend or whatever. And so then when we realized, like, because we were following like sea turtles, which is pretty sweet, like these huge turtles just like swimming around. It was kind of crazy to see. I wonder how old they were, because I know at least tortoises can live pretty old, and I don't know the difference between a turtle and tortoise or anything like that. But I mean, it's like, how does a thing get that big? It was pretty. I don't really know where they live or anything like that. They were just kind of like swimming around before, and I mean, they're seen there quite often, I think. And so then we tried to come back because I was like, it wasn't even that we were too far around. It was just like, all right, seen all that stuff, time to loop back around again. Just kind of like a casual thing as we keep looking. But then, man, it was like a workout trying to get back there because like the tide kept pushing you back, and it was just like, in order to get it like effectively, you just had to power through it. And the best way would have been to get around like the pole of the rock, and go back into the more open ocean and the loop back around again. But that seemed kind of like we thought we were going, or I was going around one bend that would be right, back to where we started before, right in the little cove area where we had our stuff and up on the beach. But that was just another like Gulf area, and I was like, oh dang, that's when I knew. I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to actually work at this thing, because I was like, all right, I can just power through this. But then I had to think a little more methodically, and I mean, it's not like anyone was in trouble out there, but you got to kind of watch out. There's one lady that swam too far out, and then she was like just standing on the rocks as her husband tried to help her, and we were kind of looking, like asking, trying to see if she needed any sort of help, needed like borrow a boogie board to swim back or something like that. But then she just kind of swam back or something. It was like really weird. Like people go out there and aren't really, don't really know what they're doing, I guess. That was always pretty cool looking at all that stuff. And speaking of my cousin's GoPro, which he got a lot of awesome footage with, just kind of swimming around. He had a mount on his surfboard that he put on there, and there's one cool scene where he's swimming out there on the surfboard, and then he sees a big wave, so he flips the board over so he like not to get pushed back or knocked off it or something like that. And it's awesome because you can see the board totally flip, and then he's holding it like underneath. Then it flips back over again. It's pretty awesome. And so that got us thinking, because I've been looking at a GoPro for a while, not like actively searching it, but I've seen quite a few, and I think it's a pretty awesome thing. So I started talking to my dad started talking to me about it, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds awesome. So like as a family, we decided to get a GoPro, which is pretty sweet. So we got that now. And the thing is like crazy. You can shoot like 1080, 60 FPS, 720, 60 or 120 FPS for like awesome slow-mo stuff. And so that's really sweet. And so I'm really excited about it. I'm now messing around in Adobe Premiere Pro editing with that stuff, which is actually easier than I thought. Learning that stuff, I'm learning it quicker than I assumed, because I've opened it up before, but it's just kind of like intimidating, and I can do some basic things in it, but it just wasn't useful. Like iMovie was just more convenient, especially for a lot of the video game stuff I was doing. Like Adobe Premiere didn't recognize that stuff as well, but for real footage, it works quite nicely. And so I've been messing around with that stuff, messing around with the slow-mo stuff, and eventually we got this in mind, thinking with a wakeboard, put the GoPro, put a surfboard GoPro mount on the wakeboard, and then you get some awesome shots like that. So you might actually be seeing some real life stuff and it be legit, and that might expand onto me moving my channel from virtual to reality. So I mean, I guess this is all reality, that whole debate, but some IRL stuff, which would be pretty cool, I think. Because that's sound like that'd be something I could transition over to that I'm more interested in now. Like I could do some frisbee tutorial stuff. Not that I'm even like the best at frisbee and stuff, but just stuff that I could that would just be fun, easy for me to do, and things like that. Now that my channel is just kind of more of a do whatever, not do what like upload whatever instead of trying to like build it. I don't really care about that stuff anymore. Maybe I will at some point, but it's just kind of more of a database of all the things I've done, as it always has been, but less now about building a brand and all that stuff, because that's, I don't know, I'm not too interested in that stuff anymore. So yeah, so that has some awesome new opportunities that could present itself. And the thing is crazy, like it has like a Wi-Fi remote with it, and then you can also have like an app on your phone where you can see like what the GoPro's like doing, because it has like a Wi-Fi thing built in, and they take pictures from there, and it's like controlled from there. It's pretty crazy. So a lot of cool things could come from that if it all works out right. But now I'm just kind of messing around, taking some basic like videos of my dog and trying to figure out Premiere. And so if you see some stuff, my editing's not very good, and it probably will never be very good, but I can probably get it good enough, but I doubt I'll get it to some like artistic level where it's like, wow, this is really a work of art, it's filmmaking stuff. I more rely on the philosophy like, oh, I'll just throw some cool things together, and if it creates something generally decent, that sounds good. Like I'm not gonna, as I am with any sort of art stuff. So yeah, so that's gonna be interesting to see how that all works out. But that should be pretty sweet. I think I'm going wakeboarding tomorrow. I'm still waiting to get the floaty for the GoPro, because I don't want to, like, I could secure it, but the mount we got is built for a surfboard, and if it were to fall off, that'd be, really lame. So I want to wait till I get the floaty with it, so even if it falls off, it still floats and can be spotted and at least have a chance of finding it again. Although I think it should be pretty solid, because I've looked up some stuff and that seems to work nicely, and I can mess around with a lot of stuff, and should be pretty sweet. So I'm pretty excited about that. That should be a lot of fun and a lot of cool opportunities from that. And I also might look at getting a head mount and trying to like GoPro some frisbee stuff, like just regular game stuff. Although I don't know when I want to do that. Maybe like one of our like just kind of mess around practices or something like that, because I don't want to, like, if it's like a real game where we're actually all trying super hard, I don't want to have the GoPro on my head and be looking stupid or whatever. So I don't know how that's all going to work out, but that could have some cool stuff, have some cool opportunities arise from that, and just figuring all this stuff out is a lot of fun. So yeah, so on a week from now, I'm going to Priest Lake, Idaho, which should be pretty cool, as I do every summer, and so I can do a lot of wakeboarding there. So that'll be like a year that I've been wakeboarding, because I started wakeboarding in Idaho. So that should be an awesome week of having the lake right there and be able to wakeboard as a ton, which should be a lot of fun and a lot of cool things to do with the GoPro stuff as well. So that I'm pretty excited for that. Should be pretty cool. What else is going on? I think I'm gonna go see a movie with some of my friends at we have a new movie theater, which should be cool. Frisbee I have Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, which is a good solid group of days. That's pretty much it. I've been doing a lot of reading. As I mentioned, I finished 3 books before that. I finished Win Forever, which I think I might have mentioned, maybe not in my last commentary or whatever, but that was a book by Pete Carroll, like at the start of summer, and that was odd. And then I finished this book Epic, which is about like this guy, or this society that has this like governed, and its economy is based off this MMO RPG, which is pretty crazy. Like an awesome idea and a good story. And now I'm reading the sequel to that, which is kind of wild and kind of mind blowing, which is pretty good so far. Although I think it could be better. I haven't found a book where I'm like blown away with it yet. Pretty much all out of 5 stars. Pretty much all the books I've read have 4 stars, because if I were to give a book a 5-star, I think it would pretty much have to be like flawless. Like, wow, not only could I not put this book down, but it was just like I couldn't think of a better way to do it, sort of thing like that. But maybe that'll never come. Maybe it'll be all 4 stars or below. We will see. So yeah, so that's been that's what I've been up to. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this commentary. My voice is growing tired from talking so much. I think I had 30 minutes is pretty solid amount of time. The rest of summer should be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I'm like, the good thing about school starting up is that football season is starting up as well with school. And so that is always fantastic when it's like, okay, school, but then on the weekends it is just like, whew, this is great. You know, Friday night, high school football games, Saturday, college football all day, and then Sunday, NFL. So now I guess I'm doing frisbee on Saturday. So hopefully, maybe the Saturdays won't be in the football season because I kind of need to watch my college football. But I'm sure that can be adjusted, and we don't have any plans on Saturdays in the fall anyway. So we'll see how all that works out. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this commentary, and I will see you guys at some point in the future. Ooh.